My fear is that 2020 and 2021 are going to be one of the most regrettable time periods in many, many people's lives. And the reason for that, and I hope it's not the case, but I just have a deep sense of kind of premeditated empathy, so to speak, that the fact that this year, unlike any other, like we've heard from so many different perspectives over and over again, has caused the world at times to stop. And it caused us to jump off. We had to get off the treadmill that seemingly never stops, right? Because life and work and everything is normally just, you can get on the treadmill and just, it never ends. It's just a constant rotation where you can keep bouncing around and you can kind of keep escaping the things that kind of causes you to get into deeper reflection and to really face things that are causing you to not be as happy or fulfilled, and the negative emotions and baggage that we're kind of carrying along with us. But that was not completely doable in this past year, because almost everyone, no matter where you were in the world, had some pocket of time or multiple pockets, and many had extended pockets that some are still lingering right now, where you were forced to think, truly think, am I happy about where I've been? Am I happy where I'm at? And am I happy about where I'm going? Because while the world got quiet, the brain chatter got louder. When you can't just stay running on the treadmill, when you can't just keep bouncing around and being a consumer all the time, every day, and keep yourself busy around other people, which is great. There's a lot of positivity in the way that we normally act, but there are some things that in reality, right, we're typically just getting through life. We're not kind of, life is kind of happening to us. We're not really creating a life that's happening for us. And we're letting our minds kind of get run by the day versus us by running our mind. And now you had this potential period of time that you could stop and you could sit there and you had all this brain chatter and you could think about, what's my purpose here, right? What's my passion? Am I happy about the journey I'm on? Am I happy about the way I've spent the first part of my life and my career? Am I happy about where I'm at in this moment? And am I certain about where I'm going in the future? And most people have questions, at least in one, if not multiple pieces of those categories when they think about it honestly and reflectively and take time. And so there were doors that have basically, the blessing, the gift, and the opportunity, right, of this seemingly unwavering, overwhelming challenge and mountain of adversity is that you had an opportunity. You had an opportunity to think about, are there other doors I want to crack open and run through? You had that chance, for being real. In fact, you've never had the chance, at least in my lifetime, and in most of the people that are living today's lifetime, where life literally stood still and gave you the opportunity to think, to evaluate, to reflect. And I think some have completely done that and have decided, you know what? I only have one ticket in this ride. And I've got two things that may happen here. A, life could end as we know it tomorrow, or change as we've seen as we know it tomorrow. So am I happy about the way I'm going about this and the path that I'm on? Or two, I'm going to end up in my rocking chair someday, telling maybe grandkids or friends stories about the decisions I made, about the challenges that I took, about the failures I had, the successes, etc. And will there be regrets in that moment? Will you have regrets if you ended up in a spot where today was the last day and tomorrow changed or ended as we knew it? Or if you get to the rocking chair and you're fortunate enough, do you have regrets about, did you do everything you wanted to do? Did you take things that where you were truly at your core, passion and purposely driven? Did you take them seriously? Did you commit? Did you try? Or did you let fear, comfortability, stability, and the rat race overwhelm you and limit that? And I think, it's so unfortunate, it sounds pessimistic, it's not, but I think there's going to be many, many people that, many times, this is a natural thing for us when we're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old to be sitting here going, I wish I would have done this when I was younger. And we give that encouragement and that advice to younger generations. Make sure you, seize the day, follow your passions, just be who you want to be, all those types of things. Regrets is a natural progression, and no one doesn't have any. But I really think this is going to be a time period that many people are going to sit back and go, at that time, I thought about doing this thing, and I really questioned whether I should continue doing what I ended up doing, and they didn't move. They didn't take that jump. They didn't open that door. They cracked it maybe. They cracked the door. Most people cracked the door open this past year. if you didn't crack a door open, then it's awesome because you're just like so certainly on your path and you double down on it. That's fantastic. But most people cracked open a door. Is there something around here that I want to be looking at? Is there another path here I want to kind of test out and go down? Because that's what you did, right? You had time. You had time to think and time to reflect, time to ponder about where do I want to go now when this thing gets back to normal. And that's going to be a tough thing for a lot of people to be thinking about. Hey, what did I do? Did it end up coming to the way I wanted it to be? Did I end up trying everything I wanted to try? And so I hope people realize that door is still cracked. It's not too late. I know we're all fast forwarding and eager to get back to the normal thing that we're used to, but the downside of that is once that happens, that door is closed. That door is closed and it becomes all that much more difficult. And you will require twice as much discipline, twice as much determination to be able to create your own space and your own down period to get that quietness that allows your brain to possibly put offline the tendencies that you would normally operate under in normal circumstances and truly tap into the side of the brain where the deeper wisdom, the intuition, the gut instinct that is actually required to make the bigger life and work decisions is sitting there waiting to be tapped into. And that can be so much more difficult, as we know, just thinking back to the way it was over a year and a half ago. And now we flash forward to 6 months to a year from now, hopefully, when things are back to normal. When life is happening the way it normally is, with the pace that we're on today, with technology overriding everything or impacting everything, your ability to make hardcore pivots and stop and be reflective and do all the figuring out that you need to do gets harder and harder. So this is the time. It's still quiet enough. There's still this moment, right? Most people have it still fresh in their mind, the things that they've been considering and mulling over and possibly wanting to do for the last year. And the door's still cracked. All you have to do is open it up and go through it. And it doesn't matter, right? As long as you get the vision set, the point of arrival vision that you believe you want it to be, and you get the certainty to a rock solid bulletproof level, because the world's pessimistic, judgmental, and unpredictable. If you're not bulletproof in your certainty, you will be boomerang back and quit and run back with your tail between your legs so fast you won't even know what hit you. But if you get that certainty right, on top of the vision that's very clear, and then you also get very aware of the things that might derail you and pull you back, that might hijack you back into the safety net pattern, back away from the island you're just cutting the boats on now. Now you can actually make it happen, and you can crack that door open, fling it open, and run through and see what happens on the other side. And no matter what, even if you fail or you zigzag a million times and you iterate a million times, you know that if the world changes as we know it tomorrow, or you're fortunate enough to make it to the 80-year-old rocking chair, that you will not have the regret of not having tried, of not having taken the advantage that this time has underlyingly created for all of us. The gift and the opportunity that provided all of us, which was to stop and to think and to hear ourselves and see ourselves through an elevated state of consciousness and a different level of intentionality about how we want to live, why we want to live that way, and where we want to go. This is the time. The door is still cracked. Get the vision, deeply plant in the certainty, and make sure the habits that are going to want to sneak up and derail you and pull you back into that safety zone and that comfortability standpoint aren't going to be the limiting capacity that helps you from getting into the side of your brain that will make it happen. The game plan and how you figure it all out will happen if you get those first 3 pieces done right and you take advantage of what's still left of this tiny little window that for most of us is probably a one-shot deal. And don't let it be something that you're a part of a large group of people down the road saying, I had that time. That was my signal. That was my warning call. And I had all the time in the world to think about it. And if I'm really being serious with myself, I had all the time in the world to actually start taking the little action steps that led to the bigger ones, that led to the actual fruition journey. Don't be a part of that group. You don't have to be a part of that group. You can be a part of the group that has the empathy for all those people that inevitably missed the window, and have that being a regret moment versus a proud moment when they're in their rocking chair. So I hope it helps a couple of you. I know it's been a tough time, but this has been the gift and the opportunity for many, many people. And if you just let it happen, it can still be one for you.